Good morning everyone. It's another early-ish start, 8 o'clock down on the beach. Today we're back at Ravenscar. Always a classic. It may not look like the usual locations with the trees in the background, but it's because we're at the tail end of one of the named storms that's going through the UK at the minute, and it means it's been very windy. So I'm taking advantage of a little quiet spot where there's no wind to do my little intro sequence. And so you can see coming down to Ravenscar, that's blue white at the end there, and so we're still working our way down. I'm here with Katie today as my safety buddy, but also hopefully she can find some things that I can show off for you guys as well as what I find. So the last little bit and then we'll be back with you as we hit the beach. I will apologize in advance if the videoing is limited because of the wind today, but I will do my best. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how bad the rain comes in as the day goes on. But the sun is just coming up and I'm hopeful for good finds. It is a beautiful little morning down here. As you can see, it's still pretty rough as it's coming in, but the wind is going offshore, so it shouldn't be a problem for us. And yeah, let's say hopefully we can find some little bits as we scramble along to that first little bit right in there, which is the first fossil section, or the first good fossil section. But as you can see, the tide's still a long way in, so we will find what we can find and see how it goes. As you can see, there's seals in what would be the usual get down and onto the beach spot, so we're going to give them a wide berth and keep trying to stay down on the water's edge down here. But a good reminder, this is their breeding season, we give them a wide berth, and straight after storms they'll all be recovering from being washed around in the seas. So. Big old chunk of what I think is a pseudo, but very badly water worn, so I'll leave that there. Plenty of piles of big old rocks to look through. There's a nodule there that looks a bit promising. Down there it's a knackered old deck. And another one in this nodule. There's plenty of bits around. You don't need to dig into the bedrock, just that always constant reminder. Ravenscar is a triple SI, no hitting into the bedrock, no hitting into the cliffs. Long-term viewers know I love a good Hildoceras ammonite. Can you see a little bit of a heartbreaker here? Yeah, just a piece, but big old chunk of one. Let's see if we can find the whole one that goes to. It being Ravenscar, I'm going to play a game of Spot the Fossil, and then you'll find about 20, but there's one here I think is worth picking up. So first one there, chunk of ammonite sticking out. There's also a little bit of keel just there below it. There's also ammonite keel there, and the one that you may not have seen is this one. Ah, the edges are gone. It's a bit of a shame. The middle could be nice there. That's a shame it's missing that section. Yeah, I'll still take that, I think. So just pop this one open and you can see some of the big nodes on it. So it's one of the spiny species. I think it's Perinoceras. Looks alright. A little damaged on the edge here. That should come off okay. So we'll take that. Just pop this nodule open. Cute little ammonite in it. Looks a bit like a deck, but not sure. Tempted to take that one home. And then I found this thing, which is a bit weird. Slight colour in one of the grey nodules makes me think it might be a coprolite, so a fossil poo. But not sure. I'll take that as well. Katie just picked up this absolute stonker of a Catacelasaurus. So they look a lot like a deck, but they're just really, really fat, and they've got little tiny spines. That there might be the nicest one I've ever seen. That's a beauty. And definitely not as rare as that last one. Little Hildoceras just sticking out there, you can just see the keel, it gives it away. A few more bits and pieces to show off. So that there I think is a very squished Hildoceras, but I might be wrong. It's just very squished, so the keel's completely flat, which then makes it difficult to identify. But looking at this keel, it looks more like it. But different. Take it home. this is an actual Hildoceras. You can see the ridges here. There's two little lines on each side, like two valleys, and then the ridge down the middle. That makes that a Hildoceras. I might offer that up for Katie if she wants to prep it. Piece of Lithoceras. So I picked a weird bit up a couple of videos ago from here that I didn't know what it was, a big fat one. This is a different Lithoceras species that actually goes or looks a lot like the one that I've got, a really big one in my collection. I will link that now. What else do we have? So another little ammonite there, and possibly another one inside this big block, so take that one. And a few nodules to hit, which I'm going to do now. I'll be back with you if I get anything in them. And another little spiny species. It doesn't look particularly spiny, but there's a few nodes there, and they look nicer in the middle here, underneath all this as it comes away. So that should be good. I'll go in the bag. So this is the best I can do on the Catasiloceras front at the minute. So another one of these fat dacks. You can just about tell that it's a fat dack. You put it up in my thumb. But I think the middle's gone looking at the section. So not even worth taking, I don't believe. A few other bits and pieces that are going to get tapped now. We'll do that. Just transiting to the other bay. You can see here the second bay. And a beautiful little bivalve. You can see all the textures on the shell, and then the shell's kind of eroded away on this side, so you can see the internal mold, or the Steinkern I believe it's called, of this bivalve on the inside. Quite nice, a bit different. I'll actually take that one. So this is different. I thought it was a Hildy when I first saw it, but that keel is not a Hildy. I just knocked it out of this loose shale block. I think the middle might be gone on this side, but might just be there. I picked this block up going, ooh, ammonite, so there's a Grammoceras on the top up there, looks like a belemnite running through it. There's another ammonite in this section. And then I turned it over, went, ah, it's just a piece of shell. But it has a really interesting texture. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see in this light. Wouldn't be a video without a big old belemnite in it. That's a better part of like 5-6 inches long. So quite a nice one. Fragment cone end off to the right there, just missing. So I'm not going to collect it, but just showing you. At Port Mulgrave I showed off some fossils that didn't belong to the area from Port Mulgrave, and this is kind of similar. It's a rock that definitely hasn't just come from Yorkshire. That's come from probably a long way up north, possibly even Scotland, and will have been washed down with a combination of the glaciers from the last ice ages and the wind, wave, tides washing this along. Just saw this scrappy old bit, turned it over. Really nice piece of Phyloceras with all the sutures. Pretty. Yeah, on the long list of things I'd love to be able to do with prep is polish some of these, because I do really like the ammonites that have been worn through, and you can see all the individual chambers, each infilled with calcite. So the tide's turning, we're going to start heading back. The tide is already coming in pretty rapidly, so it's going to be a bit of a scramble rather than a nice dry walk along the edge. This may well be a consequence of the storms and the high seas, and it's coming back in quick. Another classic broken bit of keel just sticking out. Give it a tap, and that's a nice looking pseudo. That pseudo Lioceras, probably the Bulbians. So that's a pretty little one. That'll go in the bag as is. And Katie continues her fantastic day with what's a beauty of a Hildy. You can see the keel going around. This should be mouth border or close enough to it, and then it comes inside. So all in a nodule. Might be a little warped on one edge, but that's a treat, that one. Gives you a bit of an idea just how much water is coming off the cliff at the minute. With all the storms and all the rain. Helps wash some more fossils out, and as you can see, more gravel piles. And there's my heartbreak for the day. Big old Catasiloceras in there, and my nodule exploded into lots of bits. I've rescued a few more bits over there with my hammer. So we'll tip it all back together, glue it all up, and then hope it might be able to get prepped from the top side where my palm is. It's a shame, because that was a nice looking Catasiloceras. Just coming off the beach, and one last, actually reasonably nice Grammoceras split as you can see, the weather has come in and the rain is starting, and so we are just slowly making our way back up and then soon up over the top of all of that mess. Yeah, and so that just about wraps us up here at Ravenscar. It's been a pretty good day for me. I've had sort of the dax, the spiny Paranoceros species, Hildes, Pseudo, Grammoceros, all sorts of bits and pieces, so I would have counted that as a pretty good day. I've got what is potentially quite a nice Catacelaceros, but it's really nothing compared to what Katie found. Katie smashed it today. Her Catacelaceros is beautiful. She's got a nice Hilde as well. So between the two of us, we've had a cracking day worth of finds, and it's why we like Ravenscar. Always something fun and different to find here. So that's going to wrap me up here at this beautiful Ravenscar in the gap between the rain. Make sure you like and subscribe, because it does help the channel out, and it makes sure that you get notifications for when the next videos come out. I should be out again on the weekend, so there should be hunts coming out fairly regularly again as we go into the new year. And so with that, I hope everyone had a good Christmas, and I hope your 2024 is fantastic. Catch you soon.